comes to creativity, to me it's just a way of being. Like I don't see it as something that I pursue or something that I set out to do. I think even since I was really young, the act of making and creative was always there. I'm Jaime Lee Loy. I'm a contemporary artist and writer. I do many different things, so like I'm a multitasker. The main things that I do, like in my contemporary art, I look at serious social issues like domestic violence and things like that, because I have a history with NGOs, and I also produce creative, not just books, but keepsakes for kids. It's customizable stories from Trinidad. I do that with my husband, Sean. And I also have a project called Summer Heroes, where I would hire art therapists and artists, and we do art activities with kids. They invent their superhero avatars, and we work on them with social responsibility and awareness and leadership. There were key moments in my life, like when I was in school, in secondary school. I remember one of the teachers telling me, you should really choose this as a subject. And ironically, I remember thinking, no, I choose art because it's something I like and I do it anyway. And at that time, people keep telling you, don't choose art, do like business or something, you have subjects to pick. But I went with what she said, and I'm glad that I did that. A lot of it is, funny enough, self-therapy for me. I've been through a lot of things, and that's how I kind of just work it out in my head. So I'm always thinking of, these different ideas and concepts and work to do. My process actually on the outside looks like I'm not doing much because I'm always thinking. But that's one of my things, like I can't stop thinking, like I'm thinking all the time. And I would work out the ideas in my head over a period of time. When I was working with domestic violence at first, I was like, what do I want to see? I don't want to put the stereotypical picture of somebody's face and a black eye or something like that. And I usually tend to stick to the psychological in something. So I was thinking of, what, like that whole situation of why do people stay in those situations? And I wanted to produce a psychological effect on the audience. I took flowers and stripped them into the size of a 3 feet high roach on the wall. And the idea was people came in and they felt attracted to it and at the same time repulsed by it, and they were, that sort of paradox. So that concept though is something I'd be thinking of for a while. And then when I actually got those flowers, I hadn't planned to do that. I was on a residency in Vermont in 2007. When those flowers were delivered to me, the idea just came up, so I just did it one time. So everyone thought, well, it's her first day here. How did she come up with that? It's because I'd always been thinking of that concept, and when it came, the idea came, and I just did it one time. I think most creatives, if not all of them, experience some serious form of doubt that comes and goes. Every residency I've gone to, other artists suffer from the same thing. They go through a state of panic. And I've actually heard that that's good, because that's a process before it actually propels you to do something. Where my contemporary art is concerned, because it's so much an intrinsic part of me, weirdly enough, I never doubted that. Even if people didn't like it, even if it didn't live up to some sort of intellectual marker, I didn't care. Being a creative and enterprise, coming out and doing videography and stuff for other people, for NGOs, I really doubted myself a lot there. But the idea of learning new materials and learning new processes used to scare me, I'll admit. Now I realize that you have to fail sometimes and you just keep going, but there was a point where I was trying to be perfect and I would be really intimidated. I think once you prepare and once you try to be as, not perfect, but you try to really learn the process and do it properly, as much as to your ability, the doubt goes. So it might be perfect, but you prepared. I've gotten a lot of good advice in my life from different mentors and even friends and family. But I think what's really stuck with me and what drives me, my husband Sean, we were watching something once, I can't remember what it was, and that person was talking about failure. And they were talking about how they failed continuously and continuously and continuously, and then how people looked at them and thought they were crazy, and now they're really successful. I think it was actually a business person that was saying this. That really was a turning point for me, because that was at a point where I was in a lot of doubt as well, and thinking, should I really push in this direction? What if I'm not good enough? And that piece of advice, that you have to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. Nobody's perfect, right? You're going to fail. Just pick yourself back up and keep going. And I tell anybody that. And I think being flexible as well. You adapt. So if something's not working, you move along and try something else. Super Me is the most recent film that I've created. It was with Summer Heroes on my project. It's an interview with select superheroes from a program from 2012 to now. And they talk about a lot of mature and serious things that we have to think about in Trinidad now. So they talk about crime, they talk about pollution, they talk about social responsibility, they talk about looking at young people and how you must nurture them. And it'll be showing once to the public on October 22nd, Saturday at 11 o'clock. Tickets are actually already in the box office for sale. We're actually trying to have an activity before from like 10 to 11 where kids could come and color and draw and do things in the lobby before they actually come inside. And it will be at IMAX. So the customizable keepsakes that my husband and I create, he's the illustrator and I'm the writer. That also actually just sort of happened by accident. So my best friend was pregnant some years ago, and as a gift, we actually wrote her son a book. So we brought in all the relatives as characters and the dog they had at the time, and it was called Amazing Damon, right? And him and his dinosaur friend called Kobe would go off in his magical adventure. And people really loved it, and they told us, why don't you all do this for people? But to create one for each person is a little crazy. So we sort of streamlined it where the story remains the same, but we could tailor it for you. So you could actually mention relatives, you could mention other people that are important. The protagonist, which is your child, is there. You could actually upload a photo in the book itself and on the back cover. And what we did and what we're really proud of is that the actual illustrations mirror the appearance of your child. And in some cases, maybe parents or relatives that are in there. So skin color, eyes, hair, texture, things like that, we can actually change. We're a little bit behind, but we're hoping to launch at the end of this year, where you can actually go online and do it yourself. You just select the features that you want and it will create an ebook for you, and you have the option to send it to us to print. So we're excited about that. It's imaginationkeepsakes.com. I'm Jaime Lee Loy, and in a big box of crayons, I would be a multicolored crayon.
You